Hello YouTube, Naked Trevor back again with a review for Acolyte. We're on episode 5, and I would say this is the best of the worst. It's got some decent action here and there, but overall, it's the story, it's the dialogue, it's the writing, and, well, I'll go through it. Here we go. With the recap, we get a reminder that May has heel turned and she's going to turn herself into the Jedi. Osha being alive, it changes everything. And then we see Osha, she's got Darth Asshole right in front of her. Lights his lightsaber, could have killed her, but he doesn't. We also get a count of what kind of forces are with them. 6 Jedi Knights, a Padawan, and her master. So just keep all of that in mind. That was for our recap as we're going through this dog shit of an episode. So the episode opens with Osha. She wakes up. She doesn't see the dead body in front of her. She trips while hearing distant lightsaber battle. She finds the Jedi Knights fighting Darth Asshole. As he kills at least 4 Jedi in the scene, Master Soul is nowhere to be found. Also, Jackie, nowhere to be found. In this scene, we see that Yord, he gets cut on his leg, which should be a fatal wound, considering what we've seen so far with, I don't know, the lightsaber stuff. It's inconsistent. Kel Naka gets a cut across the chest and he's dead, but these girls in Osaka or whatever, Ashoka, she gets ran through and freaking lives through it, right? Whatever. Who cares? Lightsabers, they sometimes work. Sometimes they tickle, though. It's okay. Both of them are missing from the scene, Jackie and Soul. We see May watching as she steals a Wookiee lightsaber. Again, she was going to turn herself in. So does she go out there to confront her old master and help the Jedi or do anything to stop the situation? No. She just watches, right? So then, Osha decides to shoot Darth Asshole to no effect. He's got armor on, so let's remember that. The armor, super armor. We'll go into that in a moment. And so then finally, Yord says, "Hey, run, Osha, run!" So she runs, and then, the Darth Asshole throws his lightsaber at her, and finally, Soul shows up after all these other Jedi have been murdered and Yord has been injured, and he shows up and he saves Osha. Woo! Hooray! What was happening? Was he just paused because he was off screen? That's how they operate in this show. So, Soul orders Yord to take Osha back, civilian back to the ship, right? And then we see what Jackie was up to. She comes flying kick in to May, and Jackie and May start fighting. Soul and Darth Ass are fighting. And some of the fights are okay. Like, for example, I could see Jackie and May being a good fight. We have two Padawans fighting, right? But why Jackie doesn't take out her lightsaber to just end the fight, stop the fight? You could. If you're not going to use the lightsaber, you could use the threat of the lightsaber to incapacitate her and handcuff her. But no, she doesn't ever take out her lightsaber. Soul and Darth Asshole are fighting, and again, it's a decent fight, but a lot of questions. Soul keeps asking him, "Oh, why don't you show your face?" And Darth Asshole says, "Why? Well, I would let you read my thoughts." And I want to go back. I think I've already said this once, but I never thought that the Jedi could read minds. Like, the Jedi can have an influence over the weak-minded. The Jedi mind trick is just that, like a trick. And it only works on morons. I would imagine that it didn't work on anyone with the Force. It wouldn't work on anyone with the Force. Just not going to work. And as far as like mind reading shit goes, well, that's like the sequel trilogy shit, Disney Star Wars shit, where you have Kylo Ren reading people's minds, which I I don't think that the Jedi could ever do that. No one could ever do that. I mean, that's something they made up for the new sequel trilogy, and fuck that shit. I don't think that shit's canon. It sucks. It's terrible. They ruined Star Wars, you know. So, like, the powers that they have in that, and again, this show is breaking what Star Wars is really, but I'll get into that in a moment. Let's keep going through the events. So, like, Yord takes Osha off, and Osha is saying, "No, we gotta go back." But he says no, so he says it once, and then she hears Jackie fighting, and she says, "No, we gotta go back." And he says it again, "No, we can't go back. I'll threaten you. I'll incapacitate you. We're not going back." Right? Keep that in mind. Jackie bests May and handcuffs her, which makes no sense because if she is a murderer, you know, like they suspect her to be, murdered these other Jedi, I mean, let's go back to the Phantom Menace. What did they do to Darth Maul when they figured out he was a Sith, you know? Or I should say, after he murdered Qui-Gon Jinn. What did Obi-Wan do? He sliced him in half. I mean, anyway. May handcuffs her, but she didn't use her lightsaber at all, which makes no sense. So then we get Jackie fighting Darth Asshole. Now, again, doesn't add up because Jackie shouldn't be able to hold her own against him. Like, you see that he has just murdered 4 Jedi Knights when Jackie and Master Soul were nowhere to be found. But then Jackie comes out and she's got Kilnaka's lightsaber, and so she's able to basically, because she's a girl boss, so she can hold her own against Darth Asshole, whatever his name is, right? Of course, right? He ends up cutting her Wookiee lightsaber in two, I guess, because it was so big. She's, you know, tiny little girl, right? But he doesn't kill her. You know, for some reason he doesn't kill her. She's just like dumbfounded, looking down at her lightsaber, and he just takes off, right? He's going after May because he wants to kill May. I don't get it. So Darth Asshole's trying to kill May, but Soul and Jackie just won't let him. And we go back to Yord and Osha, and third time's a charm, I guess, for Yord over here, because Osha says, "Hey, we gotta go back. He's gonna kill all of them." I mean, what gave you that idea? Just a few moments before, Yord or whatever, he's with the 4 Jedi who got murdered, and because Osha now is saying, "Oh no, he's gonna kill them," it convinces Yord to go back all of a sudden. And okay, so I guess it's just third time's a charm. Whittle them down, right? I don't understand it. He was threatening her that he would knock her out and take her back to the freaking ship, but she says, "Oh no, they're gonna kill them all," even though he just seen this guy kill all of. Like, why would her saying it make any difference now? It's just fucking stupid. So Darth Asshole and Jackie are fighting. Finally, Darth Asshole kills Jackie because he had like this hidden lightsaber in the bottom of his hilt, which was kind of cool, I guess. Again, there are some cool things. Like, I'm over here cheering when the good guys are dying. Like, when the bad guys slicing them up, I'm like, yeah, all right. That's not what we want. It's not where you should be. Like, it makes no sense. He's evil. He's the bad guy. Like, you don't want your heroes, the Jedi, the good guys, you know, cheering for them when they're murdered. So Darth Asshole kills Jackie, and then you find out that it was Discount Ezra Miller the whole time, and Saul's like, "Oh, how could you do that? She was a child." And Darth Asshole has the one good line in the whole thing. He says, "You brought her here. What'd you think was going to happen?" And you can't fault him. You know, fair enough. Your logic is sound. She was a child. She's dead now. It's just, again, bad guy, right? So, I don't know why, but Darth asshole, he's got a hold of May. He's threatening her. Soul, he throws a saber. Right? That makes no sense. Darth asshole is exposed. He says he has to kill everyone. So why would you throw your lightsaber if this asshole is telling you that he has to kill everyone now that he's been exposed? Like, he's killed many people already. He's an obvious threat. This guy is he's an irredeemable threat. Like, needs to be stopped. He kind of mocks May for not knowing that it was him because he's revealed right now, which again is just silly because like the audience knew. It was so obvious. They had him in episode 2, but they had no idea it was him. He had no helmet on then. You know, she had no idea the whole time. He made it so when they were walking to Kelnaka, she had no idea, and he mocks her for it, rightfully so. You know, rightfully so. Again, a little bit more. You shouldn't be liking the bad guy, but I guess they're doing their best. You know, they want you to hate the Jedi, like the bad guy. This is what they want. So he taunts Saul for attacking him when his back was turned. Again, making no sense. Like, he should just murder this freaking murderous asshole. Like, I know that didn't sound right, but this is what, like, all right. So I always imagined that the Jedi weren't like police officers. They more so dealt with Force users and abusers of the Force. So like, they kept the peace from other people who would abuse the Force and manipulate it and use it for, you know, nefarious ends and murderers and such. So like in this instance, this is not something that would be part of in the jurisdiction of law and order, because you have a Force user who, and if he's murdering people, and he's murdered all these people, right, and he's telling you he's going to continue, he's going to kill you, he's told you he's going to kill you, so, well, I think that's enough. You know, these circumstances, this instance, this situation, I guess. I don't know. It's terrible. So Soul asks him, what does he want? Darth Asshole says he just wants a student. He wants an acolyte, and this one that he has here went back on their deal, so now he has to kill everyone. He doesn't make the rules. The Jedi make the rules. And then, like, while he's holding May at lightsaber point, he says to Saul, oh, look, we're right back where you started. I don't get it. It doesn't make, you know, based on what we've seen, it doesn't make any sense. But again, we've got false narratives type storytelling where we have one person's perspective on the history. So we still don't know, hey, you know, maybe this show is going to pull a rabbit out of its hat at the end, and it's just all of the nonsense will make sense, and I will have nothing to complain about, right? At the end of it all, maybe. We can hold out for hope for that, huh? Knock on wood. So anyway, let's try to understand what he wants. He wants an acolyte. He wants a student, right? Well, his student that he had, what was the test? What was the chore that he gave the student? The test was to kill these Jedi without a weapon. He says it in one of the other episodes. In order to learn this lesson, his acolyte had to accomplish this, right? So if your test is to kill Jedi, then you're going to be exposed because you're murdering Jedi. Like, if you were just training this acolyte in the dark side of the Force, like, if the test of the Force is to murder, you're going to be exposed. Like, that's going to expose you if that's part of your test. It just doesn't make any sense. And, like, if you didn't want to be exposed, then your instructions for how to murder the way your acolyte went about it completely exposed. Like, the acolyte could have had she did have a mask on, but could have had, like, your stupid crotosis mask or whatever the hell it is that we find out later on. that they don't really explain too much prior to, so we just see it happening, and in the next episode we'll figure it out, I guess. Anyway, it just doesn't make any sense. If that was your method of teaching, why would it be this way? You're only going to expose yourself to the Jedi if you're murdering Jedi as part of your lesson to teach your acolyte. Like, it's gonna fuck up your whole fucking plan, you moron. Like, it makes no sense. Oh, Jesus. So here we are. Yord comes running in. He grabs the helmet and fights Darth Asshole. They get a face-to-face, and Yord says, "Oh, it's you," because, again, they had him in episode 2, when they should have arrested him then because he was an accomplice to a murder, because he supplied the poison to a murder. Like, so Darth Asshole kills Yord by breaking his neck, which further proves that this guy is a threat, and regardless of holding a knife or a lightsaber, needs to be stopped. Like, he is a lethal weapon himself. If he's able to best a Jedi Knight who has the Force as his ally and a lightsaber, right? And he's able to break his neck. He bests him in seconds and breaks his neck. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. So then once again, we have Soul doing, getting mad and nearly taking out Darth Asshole, but Osha stops him for some reason. So, okay. So let's compare, right? He loses his temper. He fights Darth Asshole, and he beats him. He gets him. Saul. He has him at lightsaber point, and he's going to chop his head off, right? But he doesn't, because Osha, off in the distance, she gets Saul's eyes, and she's like, "No, don't do it. It's wrong. It's not the Jedi way," right? Now, let's compare this to Revenge of the Sith, when Anakin has, Dooku, right? At that time, Anakin was being manipulated by Darth Sidious. Like, he was already kind of falling to the dark side unbeknownst to himself, really. Like, he didn't know it, but the Emperor Palpatine, he was manipulating him. And that whole scene, I think if you hadn't have had the dark side user and the Emperor sitting there telling him to do it, he wouldn't have cut his head off. He would have taken him in as a prisoner. And then, of course, you also remember he was surprised at that moment. So anyway, the point of what I'm getting at is he had him subdued. And in that moment, it was wrong to murder him. But does Soul not have handcuffs? You show in just the scene prior that Jackie has handcuffs, and she handcuffed, what's her name, May, right? So it would just be easy to assume that Saul also has he's a Jedi Master. He would have a set of handcuffs on him, right? But no, instead of, I don't know, just like hacking a limb off, because no one loses any limbs in Disney Star Wars anymore. That's a thing of the past. Either people get run through or cut. They don't get no one has lost a limb since Disney took over Star Wars at all, which is silly. I think that would be happening a lot in these battles all the time, in fact. And I think that would be a pretty easy way to subdue this Darth asshole. Cut his right arm off. I don't think he's going to be fighting very, very well with his left one. And if he does, I think you'll be able to best him, Darth Saul, or Master Saul, or Darth Saul, whatever your fucking name is, huh? Oh, I'm just getting so tired of this. It's a chore, this show. Anyway, damn it. Darth Ass goes on about the rules. He's rules 3 times, which is just so fucking boring. He says you never have to follow them, or you don't have to break them if you don't follow them. if you're not following them, then you're breaking the rules. Like, that doesn't make any sense. The writing is terrible. So then OSHA, she makes the motion that she's gonna trick him with her bugs and her pip droid, and so she sticks her pip vibrator. Because she loves her pip vibrator. She lights it on. She turns the flashlight on. She sticks it to his back. The giant roaches swoop in and carry him off. So we've got a group of Jedi Knights and a master and his Padawan and this Darth, users of the Sith asshole's apprentice, May. We also have Jackie. The Padawan. I said the Padawan. We also have OSHA, who was once a Jedi. None of them can beat him, but these roaches. Yeah, the roaches got him. And of course, he gets carried off to be brought back in the next episode because the roaches aren't actually going to kill him. Of course not. Oh, no. Anyway. Damn it. It's so stupid. So OSHA questions Soul about why Darth Asshole would say, hey, you still trust Soul? This is your master? You still trust him after what he did to you? Well, hey, OSHA, this guy is evil. He's an evil, manipulative murderer. Why are you believing anything that he's saying? But of course, there's probably something true to it, and probably something that's happened. He knows something that the audience don't, that Soul hasn't told her yet. Of course. It's fucking stupid. So then, after he gets carried off by the Beatles, OSHA's like, hey, why would he say that? Why would he say that, right? And then before Soul could answer, of course, May shoots him with the stun gun, right? This stupid fucking stun gun is back. So May shoots him with the stun gun, and they begin, May and OSHA have a face-to-face. They begin talking. Let's remember, last time they saw each other, they were asking each other the same thing. What did you do? Oh, no, what did you do? What did you do? It's just so fucking stupid. And then May's like, oh, I did everything for you, for us, for our family. Like, what? As far as we know, you're a murderer. You burnt that fucking place to the ground. Like, I don't get it. So anyway, May calls the Jedi invaders, say they've turned you against me, calls OSHA brainwashed, and that, she's followed, OSHA then calls her a criminal, which the acting is so stiff in this scene. Like, I don't understand it. Like, and again, I thought, honestly, they would be so cheap that they would never have them actually in the same scene together, And the way they did it, of course, is super cheap, where they're doing, shot from one angle, shot from another, shot from another. And of course, they're having the same actress play two different actual people. Like, why do it this way? And it's this old fucking tired trope of an evil twin nonsense. God, it's stupid. It's so stupid. So then we have the two of them kind of wrestle for a moment, and then May does her Hadouken and force pushes her and knocks her out. Now OSHA's been knocked out many times. I mean, she's going to have brain damage by now. Has to have brain damage by now. She's been knocked out every episode. Every single episode. Oh, my goodness. So she's knocked out. And then May decides she's going to impersonate her sister. She starts with cutting her hair off with her lightsaber. And it cuts it perfectly. She cuts her extensions off perfectly. No, she uses the lightsaber. Not the knives that she's shown to have had this whole time. No, she bends over and she fucking goofy as hell, awkwardly. It's all CG. You see like these CG bits of her hair. It's so stupid. I hate it. It's dumb. And then how is Soul not gonna obviously know it's her right away? Like, I don't understand. So anyway, she strips her sister naked and steals her clothes, right? Like, oh, okay. She goes and finds Saul, and she immediately is acting weird because, of course, Saul, he asks her, where is she? And she goes, oh, who are you talking about? Well, who the fuck do you think he means? You can see that everyone else is dead. Who do you think he means? But of course, he doesn't spot that as being a problem, and he just thinks, oh no, it's all good. Your sister, where's your sister? Oh, she got away. Right. Okay. So Saul has no idea that it's her, even though he should know right away. She got a tattoo right on her freaking forehead, you know? I don't care. Like, if you're around a person for any amount of time, their hair is going to move. And, like, how does he miss it? The whole time? Like, and how does he not sense it with the Force, too? Like, if she's been practicing the dark side of the Force, he should be able to sense her presence. Like, at least something, or at least her clouding his sense of the Force, you know? Wouldn't he be able to sense his old Padawan? Especially after last episode, they start talking about how she's feeling the Force again. So, I don't know. Anyway, Darth Asshole floats down from the trees, and he finds Osha unconscious in May's clothes. He sees that it's her right away because, you know, she has the tattoo on her arm. So, you know, he knows he says some lofty nonsense. Only when we're at our lowest can we be free to, you know, from everything. Some shit it's taken right from Fight Club. I don't know. It's terrible. So overall, it had some good lightsaber action, I guess. Maybe I'd say if we're going to do a pie chart of lightsaber action, we had about 10% of that lightsaber action we saw being actually good. You know, I actually enjoyed. But introducing a metal that can just negate a lightsaber, it just, where was this in all of the future stuff that we've seen? See, like, that's the problem. This is a prequel. This takes place before all the other nonsense. So if you're introducing stuff that is going to be contradicting what we've seen, you know, Sith with abilities that are far greater than, Darth Vader, who is supposed to be the best ever. You know, Emperor Palpatine, who's supposed to be, you know, stronger than Vader or as strong as Vader in the Force, right? Or at least so we're supposed to be understanding of that. What we've seen in episodes. That's the problem with this, is that they want to paint him as being so much better, which he is clearly, obviously, way better with the Force. Especially when we find out in the next episode, which I'll be going through also. But he's so much better with the Force than Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine. And he has things from in the past that we don't see in the future that you would expect, you know, Dark Jedi or Sith users to have or to be using, you know? Why isn't the Emperor have anything crotosis or whatever, you know? What is this? Like, why isn't Kylo Ren's helmet made of crotosis or crotisis or whatever the fuck it is? You know? Again, you can't contradict what's already happened. And then these characters all throughout the episode contradicting themselves, and by that I mean May. Like, why is May one episode wanting to turn herself into the Jedi, and then this episode fighting the Jedi when she should be ready to just give herself in? If Jackie comes to her and explaining what she's trying to, like, read her Miranda rights and all the stuff, all the murders and shit. Like, Osha should be like, oh yeah, you know what, you're right. That's right. Last episode, I said I was going to turn myself into Master Kilnaka, and they would forgive me for everything I've done wrong. So here, arrest me. You know, why isn't that happening when she said that is what she was going to do? Huh? Why is Master Soul, who we're supposed to like, I did kind of like, but he's constantly withholding information from from Osha. We're shown that she cares about these characters, like the other Jedi and shit. But, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's next episode. Where I should be referring to Yord and his nonsense, but I've already gone on too long. 30 minutes. I gotta end this. This is too much. Rambling on. I don't know how it could get worse, but hey, again, I want it to get better. I keep saying this, but maybe they can turn this whole thing around and explain everything, and everyone's actions are going to be justified. But somehow I doubt it. I just doubt it. If you guys watched all 30 minutes, I thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.